Hey, it's Clay. Welcome to another League of Legends video. This is going to be another installment in my new series where I take a look at some pro replay analysis. And basically I'm just watching a replay from a professional League of Legends player and try and gain some analysis. You know, this is going to be contrasting with the regular replay analysis series in that these are higher level games. And so the goal here isn't so much to try and look for mistakes and provide feedback that way, you know, things you can improve on. It's more going to be trying to find really good habits and really good behaviors that these players are displaying that you guys and we all really can learn from. You know, watching streams is one of the best ways to learn the game. And so there's a lot of stuff out there, whether it's a, you know, there are YouTube channels that are dedicated to posting you know, videos from other players. There are lots of really good resources out there. So try to take advantage of them. Lots of these guys are really good at teaching too. So anyways, this is going to be a game of Voyboy playing Ahri in the mid lane. Voyboy has always been somebody that I've enjoyed watching because, number one, I think he's an entertaining player. And number two, I think he also does a really nice job of trying to be informative and explain what his mindset is and what types of things are going on in his head. You know what? This is kind of funny. I actually watched this game live when on Wings of Death stream. Wings of Death is playing Warwick in the top lane, so that's kind of funny and interesting. But anyways, I've always kind of enjoyed Voyboy's stream. I think a lot of people do. Well, sad to see him not in the LCS, but I understand. I think that it's an interesting decision. You know, being a professional LCS player isn't always all it's cracked up to be. I think there's a lot of pressure and there's a lot of, you know, just the real life stuff can be kind of difficult. So I respect his decision. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about the Ahri versus Zed matchup. I think that I don't know necessarily anything off the top of my head that I would point to either champion having a big advantage. Now, I am not an expert in any way, shape, or form. If anyone else does have a lot to say about this Ahri versus Zed matchup, feel free to pipe in the comment section. I would call it a little bit more of a skill matchup. Much of it is going to depend on Ahri's ability to poke out Zed. Wow, look at this roaming anti-support. Okay, so unfortunately there, Voyboy did end up burning his flash. Trading flash for flash with the Zed is probably fine. But I think that was just kind of a situation where it's just a very unexpected roam from Annie. So not necessarily a lot that Voyboy could have done differently there. You know, who expects the support to roam mid at about 3:30? You know, I guess Morgana did call missing, but still. Just a very minor thing is I'm not listening to the audio, but Voyboy, you know, he appears to be reacting to this very well. He's staying calm. He's focusing on, you know, timing the Zed flash so he can try to make a play on it. You know, that's one of the things I always enjoy about a lot of these pro players is they do a great job of maintaining a really good mindset, a really healthy mindset, one where they're competing, but they don't take it too seriously. They're doing their best, but at the same time, they're not getting, you know, really frustrated or flamed. You know, these guys might play 10 or 15 games a day, and that's one of the things I've said about Turtle Stream is you rarely, you know, he got camped crazy in that first episode of this show that I did, and he didn't get mad, he didn't flame, he didn't troll, you know, he just kept playing and kept doing his best. Just a very minor thing, but I really like that Voyboy is looking to roam. Ahri is a fantastic roaming champion, and I think that Voyboy is making a very smart decision to try and roam here. Play a little cat and mouse with this Hecarim. One of the things about roaming is I think that it's interesting how Voyboy, you know, he intentionally picked this lane to roam was not an accident. You know, going up to this lane gave him a very high chance of getting a kill, partially because of how pushed up it was. It was going so badly for Wings as the Warwick player, which means that it was a very good situation for him to gank. You know, the Hecarim was pushed up, the Hecarim attempted a tower dive, whereas a lot of time lanes that are doing really well are difficult. Unless you're going to try a tower dive, they can be really difficult to get a very good and well-timed roam on, so it's easier generally to roam for lanes that are bad. Just another very minor note, but Voyboy has been very quick to go and help his allies. You know, there was the Warwick shenanigans at level 1. You know, over by blue buff, he made an effort to walk over there, even though he didn't really end up doing anything. And also right there with the Jarvan invading on the Vi, he didn't really do anything, but he made a specific intention and effort to go and help out his teammates. I think that's a really good sign, especially as a mid laner. You know, mid laners have so much power to roam and influence other lanes across the map. And I think that Voyboy has done a really fantastic job this game of really utilizing that power. And I think it's really helped, you know, some of these other lanes where I think a lot of the time, as a mid laner, you can get frustrated that your teammates aren't doing very well. But I think instead, if you look at Voyboy, he's doing his best to try to take his power and spread it across the map. It's one of the best strategies for solo queue, just in general, that somebody can employ, is to try and, if you're powerful, if you're somebody who wins lane consistently, but you struggle to close out games sometimes, work on your objectives, work on your shot calling, work on your roaming. Try to spread it. I mean, look at this. You know, he is straight up leaving mid lane to go and try to make a play on this Hecarim, and he ends up getting a kill. He literally walked right in front of the Zed. I think it ended up paying off for him. You know, doing a really nice job of, like I said, trying to spread that power across the map. So now he's 2-1. He doesn't have a lot of creeps, but he's done a nice job of, you know, it's the whole score across the map, 7-3. I think a lot of that can be attributed to Voyboy doing what he can to try and help his teammates. You know, that Hecarim was doing work against that Warwick top lane. I watched a part of that when I was watching on Rings of Death stream. You know, the Hecarim got off to a really good advantage with the Annie roam. Annie roamed middle, and she also roamed top, really unexpectedly. And so, for Voyboy to try to counteract that roam with a roam of his own, I think was a really powerful decision that ended up shaping this game quite a bit in the better for his team. Nice poke there, you know, just, you know, that right there is a very little thing, but it just shows some good mechanics, you know. Landing that max range orbital deception is not an easy skill shot to land. It's pretty slow. It's, you know, but if you can land at max range, you get the magic damage and the true damage all instantly. Now that orbital deception right there, a very little thing, but he threw it out right as a minion was about to die in hopes that Zed would walk up and try to get the last hit with his auto attack. And that's a really smart time to try and harass your opponent, because you know their actions are telegraphed. They're, you know, Zed's a melee champion. He's gonna want to walk up and get that last hit. You know, another little thing is his ultimate is coming up, and so this is the time that he chooses to go aggressive. And I don't think that was an accident, that he just so happened to try to go aggressive right there. Oh, is he not gonna get him? Wow, that was really close. And actually, that turned out really nicely. Another small little detail, but take a look at his inventory. He's got a pink ward and a green ward. I mean, that's one thing. If you watch Bjergsen, if you watch Voyboy, a lot of the very elite mid laners, they do a really nice job of investing in vision. Gaining vision control, especially around mid lane, can have such a effect across the map. I know that Bjergsen will often try to get a pink ward in, like in this situation it would be between the red buff and the dragon wall. There's a little brush in there. That's a place where Bjergsen really likes to pink ward. You can also get the sneaky brush in the river. It's a very common pink ward spot. But getting a pink ward out at this stage of the game is really nice. You know, it's potentially something that could not only save you from a game, but save your teammates from a gank. And also might last for a really long time. even if the jungler has to stop and auto-attack it 5 times, it's a pretty significant investment. Another little thing is, did you notice that Voyboy threw out his charm the exact moment that the cannon creep was dying? There's that, a nice pink cord right there. But just a very little detail. Voyboy threw his charm when the cannon creep was about to die. So basically, you're giving Zed this ultimatum, saying that, if you step up to get this last hit, it's going to cost you your life. Also, I like that he was calling out the cooldown of his ultimate to his teammates. Probably going to be dead anyways, but I like that he was communicating that. That can be really important. It lets your teammates know when you can best capitalize on their aggression. And it just puts them in the best possible position to make plays, especially if you're somebody who has a very high impact ultimate, like in a Moon or something. I think you should be doing that a lot, letting your teammates know when you have power, when you can actually help them. There's nothing worse than watching, an Amumu come in to help you and he doesn't have ultimate and you're expecting it. That's a pretty bad feeling. Unfortunately, Fabi kind of got baited in there a little bit. Okay, without... Oh, very nice. Did you see how he tried to bait the Hecarim in there? That was really nicely, very well played. The angle that he walked, where he kind of hugged this area right here to try to draw the Hecarim into the blind spot. As a mid-laner, he knows that these walls have blind spots. So if the Vi is coming along the side of the wall, he knows that there's just a little bit of room there where he can try to bait in a play. You can see he's going to maybe go for this. Is he going to... Okay, maybe not. Minions were on him. That's probably why he chose not to. Now it looks like they might try to take this dragon. One of the things, just as a general note, one of the main distinctions between low elo and high elo is the number of dragons that are taken in a game. Oh, nice. Skill shot there. Landing that charm. Unfortunately, didn't work. Triple Doran's Andy too strong. Yeah, he's got a lot of health. But, as a general rule, in high elo, teams will take a lot more dragons than in lower elo. So, if you are at lower elo, try to think about when you can take more dragons. Yeah, dragon is such a powerful resource. So doing what you can to try to secure them, especially now that, getting those 5 stacks is so strong. Whatever you can do to try and secure those dragons is really going to be beneficial. And one of the best times to take dragon is after you've secured a kill. Notice here how they aren't reaching a little too far. Probably Wings is probably dead, yeah. The Warwick went a little too far, but as a general rule, another thing I notice in lower elo is players really tend to overextend, and they get really like, oh my gosh, this blue buff, we've got to do whatever we can to secure this blue buff, but, if it ends up costing you, like, your life, it could lead to a tower. It's just not worth it. So understand your limitations. Voyboy's done a nice job. He only has 2 deaths. He's done a nice job of understanding his limitations, not overextending, reaching too far. Just playing, within the power of his champion, not going beyond it. It's definitely a lesson that lower elo players can take away. On one hand, you do need to play aggressively to get kills, but on the other hand, if you are really good at not dying, I guess there's got to be a better way to say that. If you're really good at not giving up unnecessary deaths, You know, that's a huge amount of gold that you're denying the enemy team. You know, you're basically forcing them to play without items that they're probably used to playing with. Really nice catch there. Did you see how the Caitlyn stepped up to try? Unfortunately, he doesn't really have. Wait, probably dead. Yeah, that flash was probably, and he probably is saying that right now that flash was unwarranted. But it was kind of neat there how Voyboy was, you know, he decided to potentially get the pick over the wall, and then as he scanned it, both he and the Caitlyn knew what was going to happen, but then that's when he turned it back around, which is kind of the interesting thing. Oh wow, I can't believe Jarvan turned that. But that was the interesting part, when he turned it back, you know, the Caitlyn I think was expecting him. Oh, there's a ward here. You know, when he put the scanner down, both champions know that there's a ward there, and both champions know that each other knows about the ward. And so the Caitlyn was kind of expecting him to probably not go for the pick anymore, because she had vision of him. You know, the typical Ahri play is that they're going to try and find a blind spot and go aggressive. Holy smokes, Draven damage. But find the blind spot and then go aggressive from the fog of war. But now that the Caitlyn knows that she's seen, I think their natural reaction is that, oh, he's probably not going to go for the pick anymore. But, you know, it's that next level mind game. And I like that he went for the Zhonya's. If you'll notice, yeah, this team is very physical damage heavy. Hecarim, Jarvan, Caitlyn, Zed. Hourglass is really good. He could have also gone for the DFG, but I like the Hourglass pickup there. You know, at this point, he is probably strong enough to get kills. You know, this team is not going to lack damage with him. You know, Warwick, Vi, Morgana, pretty high damage team, also high crowd control. So, I think there's going to be enough to get kills. The Hourglass, what that does is that really removes a lot of potential play and choices and options from the enemy team. You know, think about if you're playing Zed. You see somebody pick up an Hourglass, it really is going to mess with your mind about whether or not you're going to go for the kill on them. Now, this is classic Ahri play here, going for this, you know, just a very, very, you know, simple thing. All they did was buy a pink ward. And that pink ward led to a kill, which is probably going to lead to, if anything, increased map presence, potentially a dragon or something like that. Ooh, if he had ult, he probably could have got that. But, you know, even as I'm saying, he maybe could have got that. Voyboy was making the determination that, you know what, I can't secure this kill. I don't have flash. I don't have my ultimate. I'm just going to back off. That's one of the things that I think a lower elo player would have gone for. They would have saw that they landed the charm, they would have tried to go all in, and they maybe would have, you know, given up their life. You know, Voyboy playing within the constraints of his limitations, maximizing everything he can within those limitations, but not going beyond and giving up anything that is unnecessary. Just very smart, sound play. And I don't necessarily think anything Voyboy has done has been overly, like, mechanically, like, oh my gosh, I could never do that. You know, like you see some of those highlight reel plays. You know, this play has been largely driven by very sound decision making. The little details, like the harass, you know, how he throws the charm. The moment Zed would have to go for the cannon minion. You know, that is pretty easy to pull off. It doesn't take tremendous mechanics to aim a skill shot in a situation like that. But that is more dependent on your game sense, your decision making. You know, sitting in a pink bush, watching Jarvan walk by in an area that you have warded and you know that you've denied vision, and then going aggressive. You know, that is an easy mechanical, you know, there's nothing crazy going on there. It's not that hard to land a charm on somebody that's getting Warwick ulted. But what is impressive is how they set that play up with the vision and the mind games that go on there. You know, the Caitlyn pick, the mind games there are very impressive. And now, here he is, he's 6-3, he's in a position to carry this game. He's really starting to ramp up in terms of his power. Again, he bought a pink ward, you know. Is that 2 pink wards he's bought this game? If you play mid, you need to seriously take a hard look at the answer to this question is how many pink wards are you buying each game? Because I bet most support mains out there might not necessarily buy more than 2 pink wards every game. I mean, maybe, but maybe not. Now this game is really starting to snowball out of control. It's very interesting to see the way that these higher elo players really abuse vision and think about. Like look at what he and Morgana do. Oh my goodness, this is disgusting. This is just obscene. Is he gonna go for it? I think he is. Flash ult? Yep, he got her. Just so good. I need to watch this one more time. This is really impressive. Okay, so I don't know exactly if they scan. Hold on, can I slow this down? Let's try half speed. So you can see he's trying to land up this skill shot. There he lands it. He knows they're in the fog of war. And he and Morgana just combo together. You know, that was a nice skill shot. And this right here was a nice mechanical play. But so, what made this all possible was the fact that they were controlling vision. If you struggle, if you are somebody who wins lane, but you don't necessarily know how to close out the game, watch this game and watch the way Voyboy has really, he went from 6-3 to 10-3. He's got a quadra kill. So much of this is vision, is manipulating vision and abusing those blind spots to set up picks. You know, think about the enemy team comp. Was it Hecarim, Annie, Zed, Caitlyn, and Jarvan? That's a really good team fight composition. Warwick, Vi, Draven, Morgana. That is a pick composition, and they played it to perfection. So an interesting game. I think that some really cool little tidbits with the harass and also just with the way that he handled a lot of those situations. Overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you guys next time. See ya.